Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Um, so I need to do better at noting my tags, or making a note of when I'm tagged. So I knew that there were some tags out still that I needed to do before I kind of took my break. And I got confused because the would you rather and this or that are kind of similar. So I want to spread them out. Somebody tagged me for Would You Rather, and I cannot find who it was. So if it was you, please let me know. I'm sorry. I love to give shout outs to people for that, but I cannot figure it out for the life of me. The only other tag I know of is the 10 Coloring Essentials tag from the Coloring Diva. I plan to do that next Tuesday. So if there is a tag out there other than that I've been tagged in, let me know. I'm hoping to catch up with videos and figure that out, but for myself, but I don't know. I'm probably going to miss it. So anyway, and then I've got some people to tag at the end, but of course, if you want to do this tag and you haven't already and you haven't been tagged, then, by all means, go for it. So what I'm going to do while I answer these questions is color in the 50 Animal Mandalas by Sacha and Sach Diva. I just did a full flip through of this on Sunday. If you want to go check that out. I was looking because with the gel pens I have, I do not have the full color. I do not have a set that will fully, from my new sets, I don't have a set that's going to fully match up to the color palette. So I was trying to find one where it didn't use very much, like I would just only have to add in minimal from other gel pens, and I settled on the Sassy Hippo. So the hippo with the resting hippo face, as I noted in Sunday's flip through. This is also going to be kind of a mini just first look. A mini look. I don't, maybe a review or thoughts or what have you. I bought a bunch of small gel pen sets this month for Gelpenjam, which is the color along that Lisa's Coloring Corner and I are hosting together. And I've been a bit of a bum and haven't been a very good co-host up until this point. So what I wanted to do with these little packs of gel pens is, obviously I don't want to do a full review of them like I would other art supplies, but I just kind of want to do little mini reviews of them, little mini first thoughts reviews kind of thing, and then at the end of the month, maybe during the completed pages video, kind of talk about what my thought was with all the gel pens and which ones I liked and which ones I didn't and stuff like that. So today we are going to color with these. They are the Dyvicl metallic gel pens. It says 2 shades in 1. There are 12 colors. These are supposed to be comparable to the Pentel Dual Metallics, I believe is what they're called. Pentel Hybrid Dual Metallics. There you go. And but they are cheaper and they have a few more colors to them. But we're going to try these first out of the gate. So this is what they look like. Very very small pens. Like there's just no fanciness to them, no grips, no color names or numbers, not even any sort of logo or brand on the pens. They are just plain pens, which is fine. I don't worry about that too much. You compare them to the Pentel, like I said, they're mostly comparable to the Pentel Dual Metallic. Let me take these off so you can kind of judge the amount of ink. Now, the dual metallic ones are, when you put them side by side, they are the same size, length, in terms of, I'd say the dual metallics might be a little bit bigger than the others, but not by much. And in terms of ink, definitely the Dyvicl ones have more ink in them than the dual metallics do. So keep that in mind. Here is a little quick swatch before we get started. I figure I'm just going to put them all on this paper. You zoom in and change the focus. There we go. So we have, the biggest thing I feel like I was missing here was a red. The black definitely looks more red to me in most lights, but you know, if you have a black and a red, I guess you could use this as a red technically if you didn't, and then use something else for a black. So but anyway, you've got like a yellow, an orange, a pink, kind of a magenta, dark pink color, purple, 2 different blues, 3 different greens with a really light green. You have a silver, and then your black, red color, and I guess like the yellow would be like your gold color. So I do like the fact that they put a light green in here. I've been noticing my gel pens, it's harder to find the lighter colors, but if you notice the lighter colors, I had to really work at them to get them to initially flow, and you can see that here. I had to put them down, tap them a bit, and then go again to really get them to flow. And I'm not going to knock them initially, we're just going to see how they do when we actually color with them. Now in terms of them being 2 different colors, I am trying them in different lights here. I can see a little bit of purple here. I can see a little bit of like more of a silver here. Looks like there might be some gold to the mid-green. And then of course you've got this red-black that looks that way in every light. I'm not really seeing any other colors, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's a little bit of blue in this green too, so about 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 5 of them seem to have that different color look to them. You see a little bit in that lighter blue, so we'll say, and some purple there. So now that I've done it this way, I can see a little bit. Not so much in the lighter colors, but in these darker colors, there's definitely kind of an iridescent is kind of the way I would look at it, look to the darker colors. But the lighter colors, I don't really see anything different. So your results may vary, but we're going to use these on the hippo. And I'm going to answer these questions here in just a minute. Now I'm going to try to use it on the full hippo there towards the end, but I get impatient very easily when I color. And if these gel pens don't have good flow, that may not be a good time. We may cut that part out. We're going to save that for the end. So actually, let me zoom in. We're going to start, because I want y'all to actually be able to see these. Start on this side, and let me grab, what are we going with first? Let's go with the green. So we have a light green and a green, so we don't have a dark green in the palette, and that's okay. We'll just use that mid-green color. But yeah, no, like the black looks, and that was kind of the way it was with the other one, the other Pentel pencils, the other Pentel Sparkle Pops that I have, is the red, black looks more red, and so whatever. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure I'm playing with my computer screen to make sure y'all can see what I'm coloring so that I'm not coloring off screen. Okay, so before we start, these are the tag questions. This tag was started by Christy's Color and Sketch, and I will put that in the description below. Alright, number 1, would you rather color in the same coloring book for the rest of your life or use the same medium for the rest of your life? And we are, what are we doing? Oh, this is so funny. Okay, we're doing the little vines here. Yep. Okay. Now, before I start this question, I am going to say the only thing I've done with these so far is just swatch them. So any flow, good or bad issues, like these are fresh out of the box. I just kind of got them going when I swatched them. So, all right, color in the same coloring book for the rest of your life or use the same medium for the rest of your life? I would say the same medium. First off, it would have to be one heck of a coloring book in terms of size for me to be able to color in it the rest of my life. Though, the way I color with colored pencils, if you gave me a book with like, 200 or 300 images, that might actually be enough for me because I color pretty slow with colored pencils. Um, but I would say the same medium. Like, if I could just color using markers, I would be just fine with that. If I had to color with just like watercolors, I would be fine with that. Colored pencils, I think I would eventually be okay with it, but it definitely would cut down on my coloring time. And if I had to color with gel pens, oh my gosh. If I had a constant supply of the gel pens, so like if one ran out and I needed to refill it or something, as long as I had refills, I guess it'd be okay. But again, my time coloring would go way down because this takes a lot longer for me. And it's not necessarily the pens themselves, though if they're pens that run dry often and I have to tap them to get them flowing again, that gets on my nerves so bad. So far, so good with these. Flows pretty nice. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it definitely is consistent and it's not, I don't feel like I have to go back over this with another layer, which is really nice. Number 2, would you rather color a page full of leaves or color a wallpaper style page? Oh boy. Wow, that's actually a really good question. I think I would like the wallpaper page, and y'all are probably shocked that I'm saying that because I'm normally not big on like patterns and stuff, but leaves are kind of I don't know, like I do enjoy coloring flowers and stuff, but like leaves can just get really kind of boring. Um, it gets a little more fun if I introduce different colors, obviously, but yeah, I think I'd rather have the wallpaper page. Just the variety of items, even if they're the same items over and over again, at least you could get more than just leaves. Like if it's a wallpaper page full of leaves, it's kind of the same thing. So obviously, no. But you could get like a pattern page or something like that. I mean, you get more than one type of thing to color. So I think actually a wallpaper page would probably keep my interest more than a page full of leaves. So you can definitely see the dual colors in this as I'm coloring. You can see kind of the gold in it as well. This is going to be so these are metallic, so this is going to be a heavy metal hippo. Likes to headbang, listen to Metallica, you know. Edgy hippo. Alright. Would you rather color fur or skin? Wow, some of these questions are actually really, really tough. I'm more familiar with skin. Does it not, I mean, don't you feel a little, don't you feel a little, it puts the lotion on his skin when you're like actually using the word skin and you're talking about how you like to color skin. It's just the word, right? Like when I say, oh, I prefer skin, or oh, I prefer to color skin, then I feel like what's his face in Silence of the Lambs, like it puts the lotion on his skin. Like got somebody trapped in a hole or something. It's just a word that just makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. That's so silly. But it really does. It makes me feel all like I belong on Discovery ID or something because I keep talking about it. It's just a very uncomfortable word, like moist or something like that. It's just, ugh. Especially you put moist skin together. That's even worse. Like, I'm sorry, YouTube. Okay. I know sometimes I talk about weird subjects, but I can't get over it. I don't get the same feeling when I talk about fur, like, but when I actually use the words like, oh, I love to color skin, then it just makes me feel like I'm, like, I don't know, trying to get a suit together, if you catch my drift. It's creepy. I don't know. It's creepy. Kind of like the word feet. Certain words. I feel like I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning on this video. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that has that feeling. So anyway, yeah. So after that uncomfortable conversation, the thing is, I've colored more skin ugh, than I have fur, but I want to learn to color more fur because I enjoy coloring animals more than I do people, really. So I would rather color fur. Even though I'm not comfortable doing it and it's intimidating, I would rather, if I had a choice, especially because that just doesn't give me the reaction that the other one does. It just sounds so creepy. I don't know. It just sounds very, I can't remember what his name was. Um, with my fiber symptom flare, a lot of times certain I have trouble remembering things, and so like right now I just cannot remember what his name is. Oh my gosh. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about, Silence of the Lambs. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna start on another color here. Jeez. Y'all knew this was gonna get weird, right? Like, I mean, it is my channel. Okay, we're gonna go with the pink here. Lord have mercy. So yes, I would rather color fur. Number 4, would you rather color a double page spread in a Kirby Rosanna's book or a double page spread in a Claire Markova book? So why did I think this was so similar? Maybe nobody tagged me in this. Maybe I just made this up. Whatever. I'm doing it. We're doing this right now. Okay, this is the pink color. Number 5. Well, I have colored a double page spread in a Kirby Rosanna's book, and it was intimidating, but once I figured out like doing a watercolor base and then following that up with pencil or whatever, it became a lot less intimidating when I was more focused on like blocks of color rather than coloring every little detail a different color. I have not really gotten the nerve up quite yet to do the Claire Markova books. So, I don't know how I've seen a lot of people use watercolor in them without issues, so I would say we'll go with Kirby Rosanna's in this just because I feel more comfortable with his books right now. My goal is to enjoy coloring in both the types of books, but we'll say Kirby Rosanna's for this one just because if I had to choose right at this moment, I would definitely choose the Kirby Rosanna's just because I feel less intimidated now by his books. So we will say that, and then I will finish this flower before I move on. Like I said, it probably was another tag. Y'all, last couple weeks have been kind of rough. Number 5, would you rather color grayscale or line art? I would say grayscale still right now. Like if I am in my full comfort spot, if we're looking at it from a comfort, I'm not giving straight answers on these questions, I know, but it's tough because, like I've said before, I have two different types of coloring. I color to be creative, but I also color to relax, and those two goals don't definitely don't coincide with each other very well. So, um, my setup, my types of books, my types of mediums definitely vary for each. But let's say I am just coloring for relaxation. I am just chilling on the couch with, just a set of markers or a set of gel pens or something. I would rather have grayscale because then it makes it easier. I can do more just straight coloring with just one layer of color or two layers of color rather than trying to come up with blends and stuff. Line art, I tend to want to blend more and use different colors and things like that. I had to think more with line art than I do grayscale. And right now with coloring, I would prefer not to have to think very much. So we'll say grayscale. We'll say grayscale for that one. So as for the pens, as you can tell so far, the flow on them is very nice. It is not excessive, so I don't feel like it's kind of getting away from me, if you catch my drift. It's like just a perfect kind of flow where it's not scratchy. I don't have to go back over it with a second layer. But it's not flowing so much that I feel like I could cover big areas quickly, just with the size of the pens, which, does it say on here, 1 millimeter? Is what it says. So, very nice flow. I don't feel like like I said, have to go back for a second layer, and I don't get just little random white spots while I'm coloring. So just really nice flow on these so far. I am quite pleased for these, for small areas like this. These pens feel quite enjoyable actually to color with. So number 6, would you rather color a page by Mystic Art Mirrors or Christine Karen? I don't think I know anything by Mystic Art Mirrors. Well, I take it back. I think I know which, I've seen some of their art. So this question would definitely, the answer would be Christine Karen because I have colored her pages before. I do have her books. I love her art. Yeah, you talk about grayscale, like her grayscale is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I mean, I did a page, I think it was out of the Coloring Heaven special she did, a fairies one a couple weeks ago. And it was just straight coloring with markers. And the result with the grayscale was just so lush and gorgeous. And just the shading was just so phenomenal. And when I got done with the picture, I just loved it so very much. Especially because it was easy, but I got really good results. So yeah, I would say Christine Karen on that one. 7, would you rather color in silence or color with background noise? I really need background noise. When I am coloring, most of the time, even if it's coloring, like creative and I'm really in the zone and thinking about what I'm doing, I still would rather have some kind of background noise. That is probably more of a music type of scenario. But for the most part, when I'm coloring kind of like this, I like to have YouTube videos going. I like to have a TV show or movie, usually one that I've seen before so I don't lose the plot. But I prefer to have background noise. A lot of times I have to color to try to get out of my head. And silence, this type of coloring in silence, it is not enough to get out of my head. Like, then I start thinking about stuff. So, much prefer having background noise or something to further distract me, because just the coloring itself is usually not enough. So, would you rather color with a mix of mediums and brands or stick to one medium and brand? Oh, mix of mediums and brands, definitely. I get, even when I'm just relaxing and coloring, sometimes I look at something, and even if I'm just coloring it in markers, mostly, I will just stop and be like, you know what this needs? This needs, some gel pen, or this needs some Posca pen. I do like a lot, if I'm going to use my pencils, I think I'm going to start using my watercolor type stuff more as a base for them. So yeah, definitely mix of mediums for me. When I'm in full creative mode, I am definitely a mixed medium kind of gal. And like I said, even when I'm just coloring on the couch, sometimes I like to grab other stuff other than, say, markers, because I feel like maybe it needs a touch of glitter or metallic, so I'll grab a gel pen or something. So definitely mix. And I'm not fully tied to one brand for most things. A lot of brands and products they put out, they all have their pros and cons, and sometimes I just need different ones. So like with this product, for instance, doesn't really have a red, it doesn't have a dark gray, it doesn't really have any browns to it. That was another thing I meant to note and I didn't. I'm trying to see, I don't really see a different color with that one other than the pink, but it's still a pretty pink. So I bought these and I'm like, if they're dual colors, great, but I don't know, it's not a critical thing for me, but I want to show you all of it so that if that's important to you, you know. Sorry, had to grab some coffee. All right, so now we're going to move to magenta. Let me back out just a hair. There we go. Let me grab the magenta. Or is that what I just used? No, this is magenta. All right, so yeah, mixed mediums, and I'm trying to throw gel pens everywhere. Number 9, would you rather use a white gel pen or a white Posca pen? White gel pen, just because I feel like I have more control over it than I do my Posca pens. I feel like paint can get away from me a little faster than the white gel pens can. I feel like I have more control with them. If they both worked exactly the same way, and in a perfect world where the white gel pen would provide the same exact coverage as the Posca pen, I would say the gel pen. But there are some cases where the Posca pen's just going to give me better coverage. So, but again, if all things are equal, I would say the gel pen, just because, like I said, I feel like I have more control over it. Even the bigger gel pens. Ooh, that's pretty. You get that blue look with that one. Now you can really see that there. That is cool. Cool, cool, cool. Like it. Like it. Like it a lot. Oh, goodness. I'm getting back to the questions. Just give me a second. It's like I haven't been very talkative or sociable for a couple weeks, so it's like I gotta ease back into it a little bit. I'm also kind of worried about Oreo. I mentioned this in the flip through on Sunday, and I'm recording this on Sunday, so by the way, things may have gotten better or worse since I did this, and if that's the case, you'll know on the community page. So, but no, Oreo has always, even with, he's in late stage kidney disease, and He's got a whole host of issues, the poor guy. He's at least 17. Um, he's got a whole host of issues. He's got blood pressure issues. He's got his focal seizures that he has. He's starting to get a heart murmur, and he probably needs his teeth cleaned. But in the state he's in, I don't think it would be too risky to put him under, I believe. So he's got a whole host of issues, but I tell you what, even with the kidney issues and stuff, he's always been a great eater, and he seems like he's happy. He'll, come hang out with me a lot, and this and that, but I don't know, the last few days he has acted like he just doesn't really want to eat, and I have offered him all kinds of things. It seems like all he really wants to do is drink water and sleep, which is definitely not a good sign with the kidney issues. So I gave him some fluids last night. I gave him a anti-nausea medication, hoping it was just the nausea from the kidneys, but that seems to have made him sleepier, which I knew was going to happen. But he definitely is not wanting to eat. So if he hasn't improved by in the morning, I guess I'm going to have to call the vet and take him in, and I'm a little scared as to what's going to happen. So he's up, he's moving around, he's sleeping, he's not acting very much like he's really sick or anything, but it's definitely a concern. So I'm definitely going to be coloring a lot today and doing some different things just to prepare just in case. Okay, yeah, y'all know what I mean, so I don't need to go any further on that. But to prepare just in case, and yeah, to distract me, because I am very worried about them. So anyway, any thoughts or prayers or what your particular flavor is would be very appreciated. I mean, there's not a lot I can do, but obviously I don't want to lose them. So, okay. We're going to go away from the subject because I'm going to start bawling if we don't. Okay. Give me just a second. So yeah, that magenta color is gorgeous, by the way. Look at that kind of blue you get off of it. I don't know. I love that purpley blue kind of color. It did feel a little scratchy, like it didn't cover quite as well. In my opinion, it's really hard to see on here, but you can kind of see the lines a little bit right there. So I'm not going to fault it just yet because it's a brand new gel pen, so I want to give it the full treatment on this picture so that it's definitely being used and it should be flowing better by now. Oh man, there is nothing wrong with this purple. Scratch just a little there, but I think that's just the angle. The flow on this is just gorgeous. I'm having to start being a little careful because I'm a little worried some of these areas aren't quite dry. Okay, next question. Whew. 10. Would you rather color in the morning or color at night? Again, this one kind of comes down to what optimally I would love to just color in the mornings. That's when I'm at my best. I wouldn't say I'm never sharp really, but where I'm at my most awake, usually once I wake up and have my coffee, I'm usually in my best mood for the day and feeling pretty good and everything. So I would rather color in the morning, especially when it comes to, I'm in creative mode. That's where I suddenly am like, I want to color this and that, and I want to use this and that, and that's where my creative brain really sets off, and I see I missed something with the magenta. That's gonna happen, folks. I've been really bad about missing numbers lately. Again, I think part of it's the meds. Anyway, at night, I prefer to do the more relaxing type color, and I do enjoy it, but it is a little difficult sometimes when I'm coloring on the couch and like I need a really strong light, or I need my little tray table thing that I put my lap table. It just it's more difficult because I have to go drag stuff out, and it's not just put a book down and everything's at my fingertips like it is kind of in my art area. So I would say if I really had a preference, I'd rather color in the mornings, but working working full time, a 8 to 5 type job, I would have to get up quite early to do that, and I am not a morning person in the sense that I love to get up in the mornings, so that makes it a little more difficult during the week. What's the next color we're going to use before I go off there? Oh, I missed some 11s. No, what am I doing? 12 is light green. Where is that light green? There it is. And 12 is blue. I think this is the blue. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and use both. As long as I don't get them mixed up. And that means I'm probably going to get them mixed up. 12 is light green and 11 is blue. Dang. Sorry, this video is probably, I think I'm about halfway through the questions. 11, would you rather color a page using a YouTube tutorial or color a page using a tutorial from a book? For example, the Color Special Effects book by Helen Elliston. I would say I would prefer the YouTube tutorial. I do have some of the colorist special effect books that they're referring to by Helen Elliston, and they're super cool. But I don't know. I feel like seeing somebody actually sit there and put down the color like right in front of me, where I can kind of pause it, and I am using the blue, right? Yeah. Where I can pause it and go back and see and watch them do it as many times as necessary. I like that. It's just something about someone physically doing it and showing it and being like, hey, this is what I'm talking about, that I think for me is a lot easier than necessarily reading about it. So I would say YouTube tutorial. The times I've used tutorials, it always tends to be YouTube, though I do have those books and I definitely need to use them more. So yeah, so the light green's very interesting. At first it was kind of scratchy up here, but the more I am coloring with it, the more it seems like it's finally getting to a normal flow. That's why I didn't want to necessarily, dog on these. Weird phrase. That's why I didn't want to like rant and rave about these until I actually got in here to color with them. Because, when you initially start a gel pen, sometimes it takes a little bit to get them really in the flow. And that is something I have figured out as I've went along. So, definitely don't just toss out something based on the very initial things with it. Like give it a little bit. Try it in a coloring book a little bit and just see. It might actually straighten out. So yeah, the flow on this definitely seems to be getting better. It's still a little thin looking to me. I guess because like the color doesn't look as thick or vibrant as it does in the other colors, but that's probably just because it's a lighter gel pen, and I don't see people do the lighter gel pens very often. It's harder to find the light color gel pens unless they're like a neon or something. So that's probably why the formula needed for a lighter color gel pen probably makes it just look a little the ink a little thinner when you put it down on paper. So um, I suspect that's why that's the case, because both the lighter colors like that. Well, I say that, but the gold was kind of lighter and it didn't do this. Neither did the orange. So I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. I have no idea what I'm talking about, evidently. That's just a guess. And I guess I could go do research, but I am going to say, and I'm going to put it in the description. Actually, no, I'm going to say it right now, because if I wait to the end, I'm probably going to forget. In honor of gelpenjam, by the way, we'll take a brief little halftime here. This is our halftime show. I don't have any dancers or bands for you. I apologize for that. Or cheerleaders. But no, I was gonna say, and I am not a huge expert on gel pens. People might think that because I bought a massive amount of gel pens when I first started coloring, because I really thought I was going to use them a lot more than I do. And so I have a whole lot, and that's funny because I have so many gel pens, and I was like, I'm going to use so many up this month, and then I went and bought more gel pens, y'all. Um, Most of the pens I'm going to feature in my videos this month are going to be these smaller sets, but there are definitely a lot of bigger, nice sets out there. Um, a lot of these sets I'm reviewing are going to be good for detail work, I think. Like I said, you're going to struggle with these smaller little package sets like this. You're going to struggle to get all the colors you need for like a color by number. That's where those really big nice sets come in. Like Color It, Rayon, is that the name of it? Shuttle Art, those types of like the big 100 something odd gel pens. That's where, if you really love coloring with gel pens and you want a good variety of colors, that's where you want to go for that. These smaller sets, like I said, I think are good for small pictures or details. I think I mean, like in this case, what I normally would do is do all of this detail work in gel pen, and then I would probably color the hippo in marker, but we're going to actually color it with a gel pen today because I want to see how it looks when you put it over a wide area. So, anyway, so there are bigger sets out there. Let me grab the yellow / gold. There are bigger sets out there if you do enjoy coloring with gel pens and you want more colors. I have a ton of those types of sets too, and those are the ones I need to burn through. Arteza has a good size set. Anyway, it seems perfect, but Jennifer Stay over at Coloring Bliss just did a really nice gel pen close look kind of test with a whole bunch of the really big packs of gel pens, and she kind of ranked them according to what she thought. You know, she had a really good test set up, which she always does when she does these types of tests. She had a really good test set up and was showing how they did on black backgrounds, how the glitters and neons, and you get different types of gel pens in those bigger sets too. Like these smaller sets, you're probably going to get, whoop, yeah, I'm getting the right one. Like you're going to get metallic or glitter or neon or iridescent or something like that, right? Like, so it's all going to be one certain type of pen. Those sets, a lot of times you get like a set of neon, a set of classic, a set of glitter, and so on. So if you like having different types of gel pens, those are also good sets to have. So she just did a really good video on those. So I'm going to link that in the description because I mean, at the end of the day, I would love to be able to do something like that, but I'm telling y'all, she's gonna do it way better. She did it way better than I could ever do it. So there's no point in me. To me, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Now, I may, if I bought all those sets and tested them myself, I might have a different experience. That's true. But the big thing is, I'm not going to buy any more big sets of gel pens right now. Though, if you are looking for the bigger sets, the one she recommended, the rayon ones I mentioned, they may be the same brand. I can't remember what the brand name was of the ones she mentioned, but she said that she did say they're probably the same ones as the rayon gel pens. And the cool thing is those bigger gel pen sets are starting to come with refills. And that was a big problem when I first started buying the bigger sets. Only Color It had refills at the time. I actually had to get a refill for my Color It gel pen last night. If you do like coloring bigger areas, that can be a problem. If you run out of your ink, like right in the middle of a picture, which is what I did last night. But fortunately, I was smart. I thought ahead, and I'm like, I bet I'm going to run out of ink on this picture, so I'm going to use something that has a refill. So I would definitely, like I said, I am more of a casual gel pen user. So these smaller sets are probably going to be more appealing to me. But if you like using gel pens just a ton and you like a variety, it's probably going to be more cost effective for you to buy one of the bigger sets that have refills. Like Shuttle Art has refills. I believe the rayons come with refills, and that's super cool. Like, they should have done that a long time ago, you know? Like, that should have already been done. We're going to do this top part, and I'm going to get to the rest of the questions. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But look at what we've done so far. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. I love... See, I don't know if I would call these metallic. Like, a metallic jelly roll just... It has a little bit of shine to it, but it's kind of dull too, because metal can have a shine, but it's also kind of got a dull look to it. These are more like iridescent. Like, what I used the Pentel Sparkle Pops for, let me grab, what is 13 is just regular green. I used the Pentel Sparkle Pops for some little balloons in a picture from Hannah Lynn's recent holidays book. And these make me think of those Mylar balloons that have that kind of sparkle to them, but they're also kind of metallic-y looking. That's kind of, and I don't know what the official term for that is. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily call these metallic, because they got too much shine to them to really just be a true metallic, in my opinion. And especially with the two colors, they're more of like an iridescent, where, yeah. So, I don't know what technically we should call these, but I feel like metallic just does not define these very well. They're very pretty. And let me tell you, I have not had that orange went down like a dream. I didn't have any lines. I didn't have any thin areas. The flow on that one was just absolutely perfect. Not too much where it might get away from me, but not so much, not so thin that I feel like I need to do a second layer. So the flow on these is very nice, y'all. I am super pleased with that. Even the lighter colors, like I said, this light green does feel a little thin when it goes down, but not so much that I feel like I need to do a second layer. I think it's just the color. I don't think it's... And the more I've used it, the better flow I'm getting. Like you can see there, well maybe not, but this looks a little thinner than this, but that was the very first leaf I colored with these. So Again, I think sometimes it just takes a minute to get the pens to flow. Those of you that are new to gel pens, if you do get gel pens that kind of stutter on you, like you know, aren't getting any color, or it's like they get stuck, sometimes they get, you know, the ink gets stuck up in here and stuff. I think I've heard people say hot water can help. Um, if it gets all gunked up and stops like that. Generally, the way I get it is I just tap it. So I'll just tap it really hard on a piece of paper till I start getting color again on the dots. That's pretty much how I get it to go. I'm impatient. And that is one of the reasons why, ooh, I smeared it a little bit. Did you see that? Good thing that's the black slash red. It'll cover it right up. I got it on my hand. See, that's something else. Gel pens are kind of a wet, you got to give them time to dry medium. Y'all know how impatient I am when I color, so sometimes I do that. Huh. Not sometimes. It's a lot. It's a lot. So just be wary of that. I try to keep my hand up and away from the paper. I also try to color areas and then, you know, go like left to right to give everything plenty of time to dry. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Sorry about that. We kind of had a halftime break there. I mean, I want to talk about what's been going on, but like I also don't know if I feel quite ready to talk about everything. And with Oreo acting off, I definitely am not there. So need questions, need something. Okay, back to the questions. Okay, would you rather, number 12, would you rather color food or glass? Food or glass? I don't color food very often. I really don't. Glass is easy with markers. I usually use like a blue-gray, and that works just fine. So I guess I'd rather color glass, I guess. But I haven't really tried to color food, so I can't say for sure, but glass is easy for me to color, like a mirror or anything. I always tend to use like a blue-gray marker or something, so I don't stress over it very much. So I guess I would say glass for that one, just because I'm familiar with it. Now, would you rather color in Jasmine Beckett Griffith books or Jade Summer books? Oh gosh, that's so easy. I like the Jasmine Beckett Griffith books. I mean, I appreciate the art in them, but it's just not really my style. Jade Summer was one of the first artists' books sets that I started to pick up. The book is called Kick-Ass Cats. They don't sell it anymore, which is a shame. But it was a whole bunch of it's a whole bunch of cats that are kind of Zendoodle, Zentangle. It's actually, I guess, Zentangle. I like calling it Zendoodle. Zendoodle, Zentangle kind of cats with different patterns and stuff. And that was one of the first books I bought. And it was one of the first books that I really started trying to color, you know, with colored pencils and stuff like that. That was before I really knew about things like Amazon paper and how it reacts to colored pencils and stuff. But I loved my Jade Summer books. Like that very first summer I started coloring, I was just in love with the Jade Summer books. And to be honest, I didn't hear people talk about them very much on YouTube. And I was just like, why? Why? These are amazing. Look at this Baby Dragons book. That was like one of the first books I got from them too. And I don't know. I kept talking about how much I love them. And then everybody else started talking about how much they love them. And that's awesome because They are good books, and it's a really good um, company. Now, these days, I don't buy as many from them, just because there's so many other artists out there and stuff. But the books that I have, and plus, I have so many of their books. So many. They used to, I think they've slowed down. I don't know if it's just the start of the year or what's going on, but they've kind of slowed down their publication of books. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because there were just so many books. I mean, they were coming out with them weekly, and they were just, all of them were awesome. I mean, they have great artists, and I wanted all the books. And the problem is I just don't have room for all the books. So they do have digital versions now. Again, they way back in the day. One of the things I really liked about them is when you got a paper copy of their books, you got a free digital version of it. And they stopped doing that, and I get it. But I'm also, I also miss that, so I get it. And they would also, like, if you were on their mailing list, they would send you a free digital version to review. And again, I get why they had to back off that. That is not an ideal way to, especially if you're a self-printed artist, to get a lot of, especially because people were sharing the books, and people weren't paying for them and stuff. So I get why they did that. And they didn't do digital editions for a long time, and they just recently started offering digital editions again. So they used to do it through Etsy, I believe, but now they do it through Lulu. Anyway, so yeah, Jade Summer always will have a special place in my heart for that, because they are really one of the artists that I started coloring with. So, and I still think they're awesome. So anyway, there is my plug for Jade Summer. And we've gotten through half of this hippo. All right, would you rather color in a color by number book or a mandala book? Hello, it's both. Why not both? I just realized I don't have a dark gray. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come in with that with a different pen, but we're not gonna stress about that right now. I'm going to add the black last, I think. So this is just the silver, which I'm calling light gray for the sake of this picture. And we're going to try to color this hippo all the way with just this gel pen. So prepare yourselves. I didn't really answer that question, did I? I would say color by number. Like I said, only certain mandalas really appeal to me. And if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely say color by number. Because I like variety of images probably are more important to me than patterns per se. I like variety, I guess, over patterns. Patterns don't necessarily relax me, at least as far as I know. 15, would you rather use watercolors forever or alcohol markers forever? Oh my word, what a question. That's tough, y'all, because I am just now getting to the point where I really like using watercolor type stuff. But at the end of the day, the front runner for preferred mediums in the last few years has always been alcohol markers. That is right. Yeah, it says watercolors are. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it would have to be alcohol markers. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am a lot more comfortable with them. I can do a lot more with them these days. I can blend. I can straight color with them. I can do different techniques like the pointillism if I wanted to do like the little dots and stuff like that. I use them across the board in all kinds of different coloring books. I mean, the only downside is I could probably never use double-sided coloring books ever again if it was nothing but alcohol markers, but I would be willing to pay that price just if it was the only thing that I ever could use to color, then I would be willing to pay that price. 16, would you rather color a Christmas page in June or an Easter page in December? An Easter page in December. Because in December, you're not really fully into the winter blahs, but it's getting colder and stuff like that. And the Easter pages always kind of remind me, obviously, of spring and everything. And spring's usually kind of a light and cheery kind of period of time, and it's not cold and dreary. So I would say an Easter page in December. I like Christmas pages okay, but I don't. It's kind of like the mandalas. I like them, but I don't love them, so that's why you don't see me color them all the time. But I used to love Christmas a lot until I started getting into email marketing. And the company I worked for, which was a really big retail company, Christmas became my most hated time of the year because they would just lose their minds on what they wanted to do and send, and it was always such a stressful time, work-wise, and I would work, super late, and I remember like having to stay up and on Thanksgiving and to send, like their Thanksgiving Day type emails and stuff, and you'd have to stay up on the phone with these people because it really came down to waiting until they gave you the thumbs up. You couldn't just schedule it, and it was just, anyway, I was over Christmas by the time Christmas came around. I was just over it. So that still sticks with me, even though it's been a long time since I had to do that. It still kind of sticks with me, unfortunately. So 17, would you rather color on Create Space paper or tan toned paper? I like the idea of the tan tone paper. I've never tried it, but I'm starting to kind of look into it and see like what the benefits and stuff of it are. So I'm intrigued by it, but at the end of the day, I'm comfortable with Create Space paper. Well, it's not really Create Space paper anymore. They call it something else, but that's what this is. The Amazon paper is, I think from now on, what I'm just going to say is Amazon paper, because whatever they're calling it now doesn't seem like it has stuck because nobody can remember. So we're just going to say Amazon paper is what they mean by Create Space paper, like this paper. It's a pain. It's a pain in the rear when you want to blend with markers, pain in the rear when you want to use water-based mediums, but at the end of the day, I have used this enough that I am familiar with its quirks, and I can make it work. Like, I know how to make it work out. I don't know anything about the other type of paper, so I would be a lot less confident, feel a lot less confident coloring it. So, 18, would you rather color with Prismacolor Premier pencils or Arteza pencils? Let's take my current feelings about Arteza completely out of this equation. Obviously, right now, there's been a bit of a coloring scandal, if that's even such a thing in the coloring community, with the Arteza pencils and some of the decisions like Arteza's been making and their silence on particular things and stuff. Like, let's just take all that out of the equation, right? Let's take the fact that the pencils are water soluble, at least some of them are in this. Now let's take all that out of the equation and just look at the pencils themselves along the Prismacolor ones. I would say that's a really tough one. I have not used either one recently, so it's kind of hard for me to really make this decision, but in the past when I've colored with them, my answer to that would be Arteza, and the reason being is I am a very heavy-handed colorist, and the Prismacolor pencils are flat out the softest pencils that you can possibly color with, which is good for people like me that have tendonitis, but if you also color with heavy pressure, that can be a problem because they smear easily. And I am not very good at coloring left to right. As y'all have seen, I've already managed to smear some of the gel pen. I'm not very good at coloring left to right. I'm not very good at keeping my hand off the paper. I'm not good at using light layers. And because of that, I put a lot of pigment on the paper. And when I've done that with Prismacolor, I get a lot of smearing, a lot of smudging, and it is very frustrating. The Arteza pencils are soft, but they're not as soft. I haven't had them smear like I have the Prismas. So in the past, I would say the Artezas, which I know is a bit of a surprise, but that's why. Just because with my heavy hand, I'm going to smudge the Prismas way more than I'm going to smudge the Artezas. So that is my answer there. Oh my gosh, this is this is why I don't color large areas with gel pens. The flow on this is not bad, but especially with a lighter color, I don't know if you guys can see the lines, but I can see them. You have to get you're gonna get little kind of lines or streaks with them, and I mean the cool thing is it's gonna happen unless you have a really dark gel pen that's got a huge amount of flow to it. This is just the look you're gonna get. So I'm not gonna fault the gel pens for this. Though as I am coloring with them, they're like the light green ones. They're a little thin when the ink comes down on the paper. But again, I would say it's because they're a lighter gel pen, but again, the gold doesn't seem to do this. So I don't know. But anyway, y'all can be the judge of that because you're seeing what I'm doing with it. So, all right. 19. Would you rather color a background or color the main image first? I would rather color the main image first because a lot of times I don't have a set color palette in my head, and I kind of pick colors as I go along. So a lot of times if I color the main image, that will show me at the end what color I want to use for the background. So now I'm trying to get to where I do the background first because that is usually the most stressful part for me. And if I can get that out of the way first, then I can focus on the main image. But if I really at the end of the day, because of how I plan how I don't plan my color palette, a lot of times I have to color the main image to figure out what I want the background color to be. So we will say background image, and we're going to switch to the black. I'm going to do basically half of it on camera, and then I'll show you guys the other half when I get it done. We'll jump to it because we're getting pretty close to the end of this. 20. Would you rather use Neocolor 2s or Derwent ink tints? Derwent ink tints. Absolutely. I fight with the watercolor crayons, like the Neocolor 2s and the Sargent Art ones I recently got. I have a lot of trouble with them. I have a lot of trouble blending with them. I have a lot of trouble just anything other than just putting them straight down on the paper. I struggle with them. So the ink tints are just so much easier. You get a much bigger burst of color because they are ink instead of just watercolor type products. And yeah, so definitely the ink tints. So this is black, but you guys can see as I'm putting it down, it just looks way more red than black. But that's fine. Our hippo can look. This is metal. This is our metal hippo, heavy metal hippo. So that's supposed to be a peach, not a black. Geez Louise, Michelle. What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going to do this. I looked at the color palette just now and I realized this was supposed to be peach, which was going to be one of those colors I would have to grab from something else. And instead, I decided to color them black or red. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Y'all, I am too tired to care. I'll be honest. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It still looks good. We're just gonna do this. I will have to grab a dark gray from something else. I don't know what I'm grabbing that from, but I will do that in the final picture so you guys can see that. So the dark gray will be the only color on here that is not part of this set. So that's so funny. Well, it said it was a heavy metal hippo. 21. Would you rather rip a page out of a book that has gone wrong or persevere and rescue the page? I would try to persevere and rescue the page. I've had a lot. Y'all have seen me have a lot of oops on this channel when I'm coloring a picture. I don't, especially when I'm coloring a picture on a coloring chat, even if it's a one where I'm doing a voiceover, I try very hard not to just give up on a picture. I've made a lot of oops. The cats have contributed to a lot of oops. But generally I can figure out a way to fix it or at least minimize the damage. I really don't like the idea of ripping a page out of a book. It's not ideal to me. I don't particularly like it. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to use this black red for the dark gray too. And that way I can say this whole picture was colored using the set and we didn't use anything else. So, because why not, right? Just because it says a certain color doesn't mean you have to necessarily use that color. You can use something else. So we're just going to keep the hippo simple. Just heavy metal hippo. Oh, I got one more question. Would you rather color in a hardback book or a softback book? Softback book just because of my confidence level. That's mostly what I color in are softback books. Hardback books, of course, mean costlier books, which means in my head, I need to be more careful in what I do, and thus starts in anxiety and nerves. So I would say softback books. Okay, so here is our heavy metal hippo. I've done one side of this, and these are the Dyvicl gel pens. Supposed to be 2 shades in one. There are 12 colors. We have used all but one, I believe. And that's like the really dark hunter green color. That's the only one I think out of the set we didn't use. Yep. So, and like I said, I did color these differently than what the numbers say. But if you look, these are supposed to be like 2 shades in one. The black is more red. I would call that a red. In the future, if I use these in the book, I will find a true black gel pen, and I'm just going to use the black as a red. Because in just about every light, except for like super dark, I would imagine it looks red. But that's okay with our hippo. I don't mind that. But the other ones, like I said, you can see some iridescent, 2 different colors in a lot of these, and they're very pretty. The flow on them has been very nice. The light colors, like the light green and what was the other one? The pink, the light pink did it a little bit, but it was light green and the silver. You can see they're just a little thin when you put them on the paper, but they're not bad at all. Like I did one layer with them and I don't feel like I have to go back over it. So What I'm going to do is finish the rest of this off camera. I'm going to come back and show you our finished hippo, and then I'm going to tag some other people, and we're going to finally wrap this one up. Be right back. Alright guys, so our metal hippo is finished. I finished the rest of it pretty much off camera. And yeah, so these were the Dyvicl metallic gel pens. These, there's 12 colors, 12 pens, and it's supposed to be 2 colors for each one. They're supposed to be like iridescent, right? Showed y'all this at the beginning. That's what they look like on just regular cardstock, and this is what they look like on Amazon paper. In no light whatsoever could I get the black pen to show black. It just looks like a dark red. So I think if I'm going to use these in color by numbers, and I think I will, I'm just going to count this as a red and then use another black gel pen. But overall, I liked the flow on these. I thought they did really well. Trying to show, you can see, let me zoom in just a little. You can definitely see some of the different shades depending on the light. Like, let's add some shadow to it. So there's definitely some dual colors on some of these for sure. So I think that's pretty cool. They flowed really well, and I love the glitter that comes off of them. I think they've got a really nice shine to them. I like these pens a lot. The one thing I will say, at the start when I was comparing like the amount of ink in the pens, I thought this was all the ink, but this is an opaque barrel, and basically what they've done is they filled it with some amount of ink, but I can't tell y'all how much ink is in this thing. And when I tried, you probably saw my hand. When I tried, I thought maybe it was slipped inside here, so I tried pulling that out, and I wound up getting some of the blue like all over myself. So the ink's actually in this barrel. I'm trying to see if I can even see it when exposed to light, and I really can't. So maybe it's right there, maybe. So anyway, it's really hard to tell where the ink is at in these. I probably won't be able to tell y'all like if these are a really good deal in terms of how long they last until I use them for a couple more pictures. So just wanted to tell y'all that. I didn't notice that till I really started messing with them. I like the lighter shades, the light green. These do come with lighter shades in them. They do come with 12 pens instead of the 8 that the dual metallic do. And there's like a $6 difference. Now I have not looked at the dual metallic yet, so I'm not going to say for sure if they're better or worse, about the same, but you do get 4 more pens for $6 less on Amazon. So if you're looking at it from a price perspective, this is what the Dyvicl, the $10 set, looks like. So I do like them a lot. Like I said, I do like the fact that they do have some lighter colors in there. I think these are a great set for if you are adding gel pen to a mixed media picture, or if you're looking to color exclusively with gel pen, or be able to do like an entire color by number picture and just all gel pens, you may need a bigger set. What I'll probably do is use these and then just add in a couple others like the peach and the black and stuff that aren't in this set, but I will definitely be using these again, and I hope to have another picture with them before the end of the month. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the Tag Tuesday questions. I guess I should get around to actually tagging somebody, huh? If you made it this far, or you could just look in the description. I did tag a few people. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I was trying to find people that had not done this one yet. So Debbie Loves to Color, Coloring with Haley, M Beans, Color with Me, and Laura's Art by the Sea. And then anybody else, if you haven't done this particular tag and you want to do it, go for it. I think it was fun, and like I said, there were actually some different questions in there, so it was interesting. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I will have a flip through Thursday and Friday. I'm taking Oreo to an appointment on Tuesday. He is not doing so well, so I have no idea how the rest of my week's going to go. So, but those are already up and scheduled, so you will at least get videos from me, flip throughs Thursday and Friday. Until then, I guess I hope y'all have a good rest of the week, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.